The world is such a dark place, and my goal is to brighten it. My name is Lifeweaver, and I have sworn to protect all life, from the smallest insect to the tallest tree. If somebody needs my help, I will save them, no matter what. What? Who are you? It is I, Lifeweaver. I'm here to save you. I'm saved! Okay, we have a problem. My hitbox, it's too big. I can't get in. Just turn sideways, man! I don't know how. Just turn sideways! I'm sorry. I can't save you. What do you mean you can't? Don't go! No! Bye. No! By the way, where'd you get that shirt? It's really nice. Lifeweaver is a scientist from Thailand. His real name is Niran Puksamani, and he's the middle child of extremely wealthy parents who set very high expectations for their children. However, from a young age, he's always been kind of a rebel. He never really wanted to do what his parents told him to do, and instead would get lost in their big garden. Early on, he was just too smart for the expensive schools that his family could afford, so he would lash out by purposely completing assignments incorrectly. His parents still wanted to instill order in him, so they sent him to the prestigious Vishkar Architect Academy, where he was even more unhappy because it was way too structured and everyone wanted to be perfect. All the other students didn't really like him except for Satya Vaswani, aka Symmetra. Within a few weeks, they were besties. And while they would argue a lot, they always respected each other. As Niran grew up, he would use his parents' wealth to travel the world. And he loved the beauty of nature, but was really sad by the war and destruction caused by humanity. And Niran wanted to use his intelligence and his resources to help heal the world. Niran ended up creating BioLite, which was organic material that could heal people really quickly. I mean, obviously not that quickly, but we'll talk about that later. Niran wanted to gift BioLite to the world, but since technically he made it on Vishkar grounds, they claimed ownership of the invention. So, Niran fled the academy with his technology. His parents cut him off of their money and begged for him to return, but you can't stop a free spirit like Lifeweaver. And now, Lifeweaver travels the world. He uses his BioLite technology to help fix communities and save nature. And he looks pretty damn good while doing it. I mean, look at this dude. God damn, he's got so much rizz. So now that you know who Lifeweaver is, let's learn how to play him, shall we? Lifeweaver, like Mercy and Torbjorn, has two weapons. His first weapon is his Healing Blossom. You have 12 shots of the Healing Blossom, and it can heal a minimum of 10 health, or if you charge it, it can heal up to 65 health. It has a maximum range of 30 meters. It will always follow your teammate as long as you threw the Healing Blossom before they move behind a wall. Unfortunately, enemy barriers will stop you from healing your teammates. And while he is a support hero, his healing is okay. It'll keep your teammates alive here and there, but a lot of the times, you can't really out-heal most damage. He just doesn't heal fast enough. And also, unfortunately, he can't heal and attack at the same time, because unlike other support heroes, he has to swap between his healing and his weapon. And his weapon is the Thorn Volley. This is like a hand SMG. It does 5 damage per thorn and shoots 2 thorns per shot. It's got a pretty random and wide spread, and fires at a rate of 11 shots per second, with 60 shots total. So while this is technically a weapon, it doesn't do that much damage. You can get a kill here and there and finish off some enemies, but you'll find that your damage output is not up there. Although, getting kills with your little tickle hands can be very satisfying when it actually happens. So while your damage output and your healing output is not very high, he makes up for all this in his utility, and also in death, because his passive ability is Parting Gift. Whenever Lifeweaver dies, he leaves behind a blossom that gives your teammates 250 health if they walk over it, like a health pack. However, if your enemies get near it, they can gain 75 health from it. So it helps both your teammates and your enemies. I mean, I guess Lifeweaver respects all life, so he's consistent. His first main ability is Pedal Platform. You literally create a pedal platform. It's like a flower platform thing. The moment somebody steps on the platform, it'll shoot right up as high as it can. How high? Pretty freaking high, just trust me. And it will last 10 seconds after being triggered. And enemies can break it because it has 400 health. This ability allows for Lifeweaver to move him and his teammates up to the high ground. You can help your teammates do some cheeky flanks and help your teammates get some really cool kills with it. And if flankers are jumping on you, you can put yourself up really high up with the pedal platform. And you're just kind of chilling up there pretty safely. It's your own little safe space. You can use it to save your teammates that are stunned by enemies, like when Reinhardt earth shatters them. But like I said before, it can break. So if your teammates aren't aware of this, they might fall off the map sometimes. Besides this vertical mobility, Lifeweaver also has horizontal mobility in the form of rejuvenating dash. Every 5 seconds, you can dash 6 meters. And when you do it, it also heals yourself for 25 health. If you jump at the end of the dash, it gives you a little bit of momentum. So remember that. You can use the dash to dodge, duck, dip, and dodge. And you're mostly going to be using it to escape an enemy trying to push you. However, the dash may not feel like enough mobility to live sometimes because you're only really dashing like 6 meters. It's not that far. And Lifeweaver's last ability is Life Grip. This is where the fun begins. Life Grip gives you the ability to pull off your teammates. Life Grip gives you the ability to suck your teammates. Let me start over. Life Grip gives you the ability to pull an ally to your location. It has a max range of 30 meters, and it makes them invulnerable while they travel. You can use Life Grip to save your teammates from really precarious situations. Just know that you cannot use Life Grip through enemy shields. So if your teammate's going out pretty deep and there's a bunch of shields blocking them, they're kind of screwed. And probably the best side effect of the Life Grip is the fact that they're invulnerable and heal. So sometimes you just use Life Grip to give them a quick heal. Or maybe you just want them to be next to you because you miss them. Come back to me.
Well, you know, I kind of wanted to be in there, but...
I get it, Gromp, but I want you next to me. However, a lot of the time, Life Grip is going to be used more as a kind of griefing tool. They made it very difficult to actually pull people off the map, but if your teammates aren't expecting it, it sometimes can happen. You might accidentally grief your team by just pulling someone off the point, and then you just lose the whole game. You might pull a teammate who's just trying to run away and heal, and now you killed them. So while sometimes you can save your teammates, a lot of the times you gotta think before you suck. And finally, we have Lifeweaver's ultimate, the Tree of Life. You place down a huge tree. It heals everybody within a radius of 12 meters for 50 health per pulse, and it pulses roughly every 2 seconds. But the moment you put that tree down, it instantly heals your team for 150 health. And it lasts for 15 seconds, but it does have 1,000 health, so it can be destroyed. This ultimate is so good when you're contesting a point, since everybody has to be on the point, and if your team is all grouped up, they're getting a ton of healing. This ultimate is great defensively, and it's even good offensively. You can just straight up use the ultimate to block choke points and make it very difficult for the enemy to push. And you can also use this ultimate to counter some really big ultimates like May's Blizzard. And at bare minimum, it's just good cover for your team. However, like I mentioned before, it can be destroyed, which doesn't happen that often. But if you use it when your enemy Roadhog has their ultimate, it can go away instantaneously, which actually happened to me live on Twitch.
I'm ulting!
Oh, he's just gonna destroy it.
Oh, he destroyed it instantly, what the fuck?
So I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I have as much, if not more rizz than Lifeweaver himself. So you gotta listen to these pro tips. Number 1. Lifeweaver is a great character to use when your tank just cannot stop pressing the W key. We're talking Reinhardts that just charge in for no reason. Lifeweaver gives you the leash that you've always needed for stupid Reinhardt mains. If they charge in, you just say, nope, and you go, get over here, like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Number 2. Lifeweaver pairs very well with characters that don't normally have mobility, like Cassidy. The combination of your pedal and high noon is insane, or even your life grip and high noon, because normally he can't really move, but you can make him move with your life grip. So in that same vein, Lifeweaver pairs very, very well with Ashe, more specifically Bob. You're actually allowed to life grip Bob, and seriously, putting Bob on a pedal is so scary for your enemy team. Number 3. Lifeweaver works best on maps that have a lot of verticality, like the first point of Numbani. On these type of maps, Lifeweaver gives your teammates the ability to drop down from high ground, get a couple kills, and then immediately come back to the high ground. Not many characters can do that consistently and on a cooldown. In that same vein, Lifeweaver has the ability to bring entire teams up to the high ground at the beginning of King's Row, which is something not many characters can do, except Symmetra. But we don't talk about Symmetra, even though they're besties. Number 4. This last one isn't a pro tip, but more a suggestion on how they can fix Lifeweaver. Because to be completely honest with everybody, he's kind of bad. Let me explain. While his utility is very high, his healing and damage output are both very, very low compared to other supports. And one of of the key problems with his kit is that unlike every support in the game, besides Mercy, he has to swap between healing and shooting. And at least in Mercy's case, she makes up for it by the fact that she has a ton of healing. On Reddit, user Sammy Isaiso used the workshop to fix Lifeweaver's awkward keybinds. And it's this type of quality of life change that Lifeweaver needs just to feel even viable. But on top of that, I genuinely think that Lifeweaver needs a slight buff to the amount of healing he does, because he is one of the few support heroes that does not have the ability to really save his team if he wanted to. Also, he has 200 health and his hitbox is bigger than some tanks. What's that about? Give him like 225. Come on, Blizzard. So if you're playing Lifeweaver and you're finding it very difficult to heal or get kills, it's probably not your fault because he's just not in a good spot right now. But thankfully, on Twitter, Overwatch did mention that they're working on a rework for Lifeweaver already to make him feel a lot better, which is huge. So if you get something similar to what we saw on Reddit, that would be a huge dub. Overall, Lifeweaver is a pretty cool addition. I'm actually really glad that Symmetra finally has a character that she can interact with and has a backstory with. For the longest time, it always felt like Symmetra was kind of like on this separate island that nobody else was on with her. Maybe Lucio to an extent, but Lucio doesn't like her, so her finally having like a teammate in a way is nice. So from a story perspective and from a design perspective, I really like Lifeweaver. But like I said previously, he does need a rework and some buffs to actually feel like a character that I'd want to play more consistently. But how is he for Noobs? For Noobs, I would say that he's kind of hard to play. All of his abilities and his gun and his healing mechanics require a lot of thinking compared to other supports. Any small mistake could lead to you accidentally griefing your team. So you're really gonna need to practice Lifeweaver before going out there and playing him in competitive. But what do you think? Do you think Lifeweaver is easy to play or hard to play? Do you think he's overpowered and needs nerfs or underpowered and needs buffs? And do you even agree with the rework that I mentioned earlier? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay guys, I gotta go save some more people because this rizz does not need to be sitting here all day. So I'll catch you later. Ya noob.